Hello everyone, my name is Jasmo, and today I'm going to be finishing up a business card holder. And what I'm making for the business card holder is a cute, non-proportional giant squid. That's kind of along the same lines as the other octopi I have made. This is Lime, little tiny octopus that actually does a really good job of holding said business cards, but he's too cute and I don't want to give him away. And then I also have Orange, who actually holds my phone, and that was unintentional when I made Orange, but Orange does a really good job of holding the phone, so that's its job. So last night I actually decided to start on this because my hairdresser, local hairdresser, she works out of her house, said that she would actually sell my jewelry from her little setup at no cost to me. Like, she'd just have my stuff set up there, and that was really nice of her. Really cool. And I actually have or made a small setup. I don't know how well I can show this. I've got so much crap on my desk. We'll try anyways. Oh, there goes a squid. I got this lovely thingamajig from Michael's that just has a whole bunch of earrings and some bracelets. I'm gonna try and finally get rid of these awful bottle cap earrings that I made God knows how long ago, years, and I put my poppy ornament on there as well, just in case, because it needs a home. Everything needs a home. I was gonna mention I do make things other than little squidges and octopi for tape animals. These are literally called tape animals, or paper taxidermy as I like to call it, just for a little fun. This is Apple, and Apple's on the smaller side, just like Lime is. I've made giants before. I have a giant whale shark who's about 3 feet tall and green, named Brutus, and I also have a giant humpback whale that's about 3.5 feet long, and she's Millie. But I've also made elephants, tigers, owls, mice, birds, a really derpy platypus, etc, etc. Anyways, I have a wire frame for this squid in particular, actually, for reasons. Stability reasons. But usually, tape animals are literally just crumpled up pieces of paper covered in tape that you paint. And I like making these because you don't really need any skill. If you have a picture of the thing that you want to make to use as a reference, you can basically make it. I've done this project before with second graders. My mom teaches gifted students, but she had an art class for regular students, and she invited me to come in and help her manage the tape animal making, and they turned out amazing. These little goobers who had like no artistic skills, mostly, made amazing animals and painted them, and they were great. They turned out awesome. So my biggest dilemma right now is how to cover these wire appendages. I don't know if I want to cover them with just tape, because they kind of need some thickness to them. So I need to cover them with paper in some fashion. Oh, I just realized how to. I just realized how to, because last night, not a great mental state. It was pretty awful, but today we're doing a lot better. I did some art therapy this morning, and I'm feeling pretty good. So paper is, you know, it's pretty flat, and it is flexible, but it isn't as loosely flexible as I'd like it to be. So I'm just gonna squish, and then roll, kind of like little tiny paper cigar shaped things, little paper hot dogs. There you go. There's a more positive way of doing it. And now it's more the shape that I would like it to be, and it might be a little bit easier to kind of wrap it around these things, and then I'll wrap it all in tape, and then I'll paint it. And I got some Mod Podge, but I've never used it before, so I may not use it for this particular piece, but I'll probably use it. I want to use it for later acrylic paintings, as a finish. So now this is way more doable. Way more doable, and you can kind of see a valley or a fold, or even make a valley or a fold to go along here. And then we just kind of see if it will be long enough. And it looks like it will be. Okay, so we're gonna have to tape. I mean, I use blue painter's tape, but that's not necessary. You can use masking tape. I suggest masking tape or painter's tape. And I suggest the 1-inch versions of those, not the 2-inch versions, unless you like tearing long strips of tape in half lengthwise, which is what I also need to do. So, I'm just kind of... I may not need to tape this on yet. Okay. So I wanted to talk about something other than what I was doing today, a topic of some kind, but I'm not entirely sure other than food. Food is innocuous enough that it can be talked about pretty freely. But I just don't know today. Okay. Now there are 2 extra long appendages on this little dude, and that's for the clubs. The club appendages. I know that just fell off. I'm looking for... aha! Tape. I'm looking for tape. And... let's see. Move this over here because I'm right-handed. Put my little dudes on the table next to me. There we go. Because I have a painting table and then a jeweler's table off that side and bookcases over there. So, we need some pretty small pieces of tape. Some pretty thin pieces of tape. Now there's a reason why this is half done already and I'm not starting from scratch, is because tomorrow I go get my hair done. Because I'm not a natural blonde, but I like being a blonde. And so I found this gal who works out of her house, and I like her because I have like high anxiety, so I don't really like going to salons and that stuff, and I have no one to go with me either. So I thankfully found this gal. She's really nice, pretty knowledgeable, and I totally forgot what I was going to say. That probably went nowhere. I don't know. My brain's in a weird space since feeling better this morning. Okay. Well, that at least touching there. And then... hurt. There's a reason why I had this. Nope, that's not gonna help me. Get off my thumb, please. Thank you. There we go. Okay. These don't have to be perfectly round. I see that you fell off there. This might be harder than I thought. Because I didn't tape it to the wire down there. That's okay. Oh, that's right. Why this is half done is because I'm getting my hair done tomorrow, and I don't like making interim visits if I don't have to. So, like, 5 weeks ago she said, oh, you've got jewelry, you can totally bring it in, like, next Tuesday. 5 weeks later, when I actually have an appointment, I'm going to show up with all my stuff to set up, which is just that one little thingamajig, and this guy, if she's got room. Hurt. Sure. Little tiny dude. Let's see if I can actually tape you to the wire. Where are my pliers? There they are. These are surprisingly helpful from time to time. There we go. You can do it. There we go. Okay. That still slides, but that's okay. And try not to bend the wire in this process, which might be easier said than done. And I'm using floral wire, of all things. There, like, a couple of years ago, there was a sale on floral wire at Michael's, and instead of being like 20 or 30 bucks, it was $7. It was $7, and at the time I was in, this is more than a few years ago, I was in a metalsmithing class in college. And I needed wire for prototyping, I think, a design, and so I picked it up. It's definitely more than a few years ago. It was like 8 years ago, and I still have a bunch of it. Then I remember I picked up a second bunch of it along the way because they had another sale. It's actually really useful for many, many things. Okay. This will definitely get a second round of tape. There we go. Do I need all of this? I probably do. So we will continue. Just need a little tiny bit. And so eventually we're gonna make a little club thing, hand, to go on the end of this. Oh, that's right, that's right. Okay, that wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would be. The smarter thing for me probably would have been to leave all of these wires straight, wrap them in paper and tape, and then bend them. But I wasn't sure if I wanted to put beads on these instead of paper and tape, because I did try it out yesterday, and the beads did fit, but they might not have fit around the curves of everything. let's do that again. Probably to the other long one? Possibly? There may... yeah, that'll do. That'll do. I'm just using recycled paper. This is paper that is from high school that I had printed out for an English project. Yeah, I kept it that long. Because high school, I graduated in 2005. I kept that project for this long. What is on this? Poems, there you go. Not ones that I wrote, but a collection for some reason. Hurt. A little top heavy. That's okay, we can stretch the tentacles out in the back to help with that. It's a little top heavy because I put a bunch of tape back here to attach the wedge to the cylinder. There we go. Okay. Here we go again. Maybe this might be useful now. Kind of. Kinda not, making things a little harder. There we go. Find that little crevice. And or make it. Just on this one, please. There we go. Kind of. Very sort of kind of. I just don't want it to fall off. Plenty. I look over my shoulder every once in a while to make sure no one is chatting in Twitch because the tablets have a hard time these days. I guess if the video is running, chat should be fine. Totally fine. There we go. It's the tight turns that are gonna be real hard. Okay. Oh, you stay down there. Mostly conformed. Mostly. Wasn't sure if that was gonna behave or not. Start from down from there. Stays in somehow. Hurt. Really? Okay, there we go. He's gotta be more forward. Yeah, I was doing this last night until it wasn't gonna fall over anymore, but these might fold down. Yeah, these back ones are probably gonna fold down to be flat instead of curled up, just to give that extra stability. That's okay. We'll fix it later. Okay. This... You little buggers, just stay down. I'll carve you in. It's the only bad thing about painter's tape is the edges will lift. They will totally lift. So right before you paint, you need to pat them down real good. Oh, there's no sense to do it before then, but it just drives me crazy. There, thank you. Okay. Guess you want to face that way? Well then face that way. I don't care. Let's make some little club hands, shall we? Or should we make really big ones, since this is a ridiculously out of proportion squid thing. I'm thinking kinda big. Let's see. Yeah, maybe? Mold this paper around the thumb here. Like so. And then just kind of taper that off. Look at it from back here, and we'll just fold the places we don't like. Need to kind of squish down so it can attach. Now let's see if we can do that again. How big was that piece? It's bigger than that, but oh well. Almost the same shape. But a lot less round. Okay. I'm gonna cover this mostly in tape and then attach it. We'll save the wrapping on the sides for later. At least on that top curvy bit. Okay. We need to tear more tape off of our roll. Actually, no, I've got a little bit left. Just a little. Which I might as well just go boop. Mash that. Okay. There we go. Nice long piece so we don't run out for a while. We'll just turn that into slightly smaller bits. Depending on the size of the critter you make, you can be really economical with your resources. So if you make tiny animals, your tape and paper will go a long, long way. If you make large animals, you can burn through paper and tape like nobody's business. They don't even have to be animals, though. These could be concept mock-ups, really stupidly rough concept mock-ups, because it's just recycled paper and tape. Which I highly enjoy, because you can find those items lying around pretty much anywhere. Your house, school. Let's do this curve. This curve. This curve. I was thinking of jazzing up the tentacles a little bit by using beads for the suckers. But I'm not sure how far I want to go. We'll have to... We'll have to see. That is technically my first break time, and I'm actually going to stay true to that so I don't get off kilter here. So I'm going to get up, stretch, all that good stuff, and I will meet you back here in about 3 minutes. Alright, we are back to making squidge. A squidge. A squid to hold business cards. Out of paper and tape, and eventually paint. Okay, got a few gaps. Just a few. You can still kind of mold it in this stage too. There we go. It's not going to be perfectly smooth. None of this will be, and that's totally fine. The most we can do is avoid flappage. There we go. Here's some more halvesies. Shake the table. I said halvesies all the way down, please. Thank you. Dude. That's a pretty big piece of tape. Tape molds pretty well, surprisingly. Oop. Oh, this will be interesting. I thought I wanted to bend you the other way. No, no, this way, okay. So, like a smart person, we'll tear off that top half so we don't have a whole bunch of extra stuff. There we go. So we can kind of fold it in that way. And then fold it in that way. There we go. Not a whole lot of extra flappage. So then we can just touch up like so. Well, there was a reason I was going to talk about food. A couple of reasons. One, my mom has a garden, and this is like the first time in a decade she's been able to actually have a garden due to arthritis in her hips and then getting her hips replaced with surgery and then finally recovering. But she wanted to include me in that process, but like right before then I also had some surgery for a cyst to get removed from an ovary, and so I couldn't really participate that much. So she's just pretty much been doing her own thing in the garden, but she's still going to share the produce. And she sent me home today with a whole bunch of very fresh baby carrots. And she planted the variety kind, so they're not just orange. Some of them are yellow or white, purple, and of course the classic orange too. And her garden's in an amazing state right now. The corn that I planted, because I finally recovered and we planted the corn a little bit later in the season, the corn that I planted is nearly as tall as I am, which is crazy. And she also picked some wax beans today too, and she totally thought nothing was going to grow, absolutely nothing. Lo and behold, did the garden surprise her. Because not only is stuff growing, it's kind of, ooh, thriving. We're really supposed to be over here. Like, there we go. this was supposed to taper down way, way more. Kind of like so. But yeah, there's the good note of the food thing that I wanted to talk about. Now the bad note is, yesterday I threw out about 30 pounds of produce and then immediately regretted it because my mom has a compost pile. But I was so upset that most of the food we had bought went bad. Like, I reached in the pantry for a potato and came back with a slimy hand. And the 3 or so giant potatoes that were in there were totally molded and slimed over. Just gross and disturbing. And so I thought, well, fine, we just won't have potatoes with dinner. And so I went to the fridge to get out the zucchini and the corn. And the corn had mold inside the little stalk leaves you pull apart to get to the corn. And the zucchini had mold on it too, and I was like, I was just so upset. And then, what else? Oh yeah, the tomatoes went bad, the strawberries went bad. They all had mold on them, and most of it was only 2 days from the grocery store. And so, like, I was a little bit furious. Furious enough to throw it all out before actually taking thought into consideration. And going, oh, I could, you know, dump all of this over in my mom's compost pile. Nope. I know you want to get on there. I know you do. There we go. Maybe. A little bit. Jive with me here. Jive with me here, big old palm hand thing. Kind of, sort of, nope. More tape. So, temper. Need to help with that temper. Oh, that's right, I set up taller last night. Oh, there we go. Now my shoulders can hang relaxably. Because I have one chair for all of my stations. My painting station, my jeweler's bench, and my computer. And all 3 surfaces are at different heights. So my computer table, I sit rather low so my legs can be parallel with the floor. At my painting table, I need to sit a little higher because it's higher, otherwise my shoulders are like way above where they should be. And the jeweler's table is even higher than that. I can't, it's hard to get the chair that up high. You can do it. There we go. Tear you off right there. This in half. It's not the direction I wanted you to go, but oh well. That's what I can do with this. Have it go the direction I want it to go. For a short minute. There. Like it was always attached. I just gotta do the same to the other guy. This one I'll remember to fold it down, I think. Beforehand, maybe? Actually, I don't know how I want to attach this. I'm gonna attach it backhand. I think you're actually supposed to be out here. So we'll have a front hand and a backhand. Yeah. Sure, why not? Okay, okay. There was a weird sound and I was like, what is that? It's my Jimmy John's thing. Jim, my husband, went out and got us lunch because, like I said, I threw out a bunch of food last night and we did not bother to go shopping. So he brought home lunch today. Because I was having like an awfully shitty day yesterday, and this morning wasn't that much better. Even when I went over to my mom's house, it was not that. My mood wasn't that great. We still like worked out, went out to the garden, looked at stuff. But I came home and I was still feeling like really super depressed. Yeah, and just come out and say it. It was definitely super depression, and it wasn't just because we threw out food last night. Depression is an ugly, ugly bastard of a thing. And it was just like a million little tiny things that have been building up for like the last 2 weeks that like amount to first world problems. I mean, it's like nothing awful has happened or is going on or anything like that. Just things aren't working out 100% the way I would like them to, and it accumulated into yesterday, my rage quitting food throwing out before thinking, hey, mom could actually use this. And so this morning I was watching, after I got home, showered, all cleaned up, I was watching another streamer who also deals with like anxiety mainly. And they talk freely about it, which is really, really nice, because then you know you're not alone, you're not the only person. And because they were just out for they were walking to their P.O. box because they had to pick up some mail, and then they just walked over to Starbucks to get their coffee that they shouldn't have by their standard. And they made their way to this beautiful park that had construction noise in the background, but the whole time they were just walking and talking, just kind of hanging out, doing an IRL stream. I was doing some art therapy on the side, so I was lurking and listening, and I managed to finally make a piece of art that I've been wanting to make for a while. And after yesterday and after this morning, when my mood did not get any better, I decided it was definitely time to make this piece of art, and it's another Sphere series. So I found during my recovery from surgery in March, art therapy is a very powerful tool for me. But it has to be a specific thing, like spheres. It literally, the only time I feel better after making a piece of art therapy, there you go, is if it is in the form of a sphere. Because I think last Friday I tried to make some art therapy about hurting my back again, because I had really severely hurt my back just a few weeks ago, and even though I made the piece, it wasn't a sphere, and I didn't actually feel that great after making it, even though it was super colorful. But yeah, I made a sphere piece this morning about my mental states and how they, you know, most of the time I hover around content these days, but I still get really low dips dips that go below the safety level of where I need another person immediately, which is where Jim comes in. But after making it and looking at it, it is the one piece of art therapy that I actually want to hang on my wall because it actually makes me feel better to look at it. Because it's essentially a sphere, and then it has a wavy line, but it dips down in one part, but it comes back up and then just continues. And that's basically how my moods go. As I hover around content, and then sometimes dip into depression, and sometimes dip up into like, really, life is awesome and great and whatnot. And looking at the piece, there is a dip, but it comes back up. And that's the important part, is that the depression never lasts too long. And I always forget that, because once it hits, it feels like it stays forever and that it will always stay. But it doesn't. It usually stays less than a week. These days. And I say these days is because when I turned 30, I actually did what my mom suggested and go to the doctor for regular checkups, just to like check your cholesterol and all that sort of thing. And that led me to getting birth control, because like at the time I was like, we really, really don't want to have kids, and we are really, really sick of using condoms. And he was like, oh, okay, but you also have cysts, so we'll give you some birth control that help with the cysts. I didn't get it in time to help with the cysts because I had surgery later, but I've still been on birth control. But the first time I took it, and this may be only me, and I'm not like advocating birth control, it's just that it was like flipping a light switch. My depression went from pretty damn bad to, oh my god, this is amazing. Is this what life feels like? It was a huge turnaround. I had never, ever felt so good. And it wasn't like the burden of getting pregnant was off my mind, because I couldn't in the first place. And I definitely can't now, especially after surgery, because tubes, there you go, tubes were removed, not ovaries. Tubes were removed because of a cancer risk. And I was like, yeah, sure, we're not going to miss them. We already decided long, long ago, Jim and I, that kids were not going to be a part of the picture unless we wanted to adopt, because I'm one of the gals that does not want a thing growing inside of them, leeching off of their life source that you have to take care of for at least 18 years afterwards. It's like, I don't even like children that much, but that's not about that. This is about a happy mental state, because I absolutely refused to take any sort of medications for my depression, because I just didn't. I didn't want to spend the money. I didn't even know if insurance would pay for it, because I'm that uneducated about insurance and how it works, but I dealt with it on my own for a long time. Well, like 30 years long time. And it wasn't like a constant nagging depression, because if I get distracted enough, it recedes far enough that it doesn't bother me. But when I can't get distracted enough, that's when it gets scary, because the depression can dip below safety levels. And it gets pretty scary, but now I've lost my train of thought, and I'll probably talk in loops, so I will stop talking before I start talking in loops. And see if I can remember. Where I was going with that particular thing. Unless I've already made my point, which I very well could have and just don't know it. Stay down, you little bugger. There. A little more tape. I think it was how a certain type of art therapy was very, very helpful. And it is. So I'm thinking of doing another art therapy for my back, but doing it in a sphere form this time. Because after each piece I made, I felt ridiculously better because I could move on. I could basically forget about it and move on. How now are you twisted, yo? There we go. Come here. Better balanced now that this is out here. But this is probably going to go off to the side because business card is going to go blurt and you might want to be able to see it. Might want to be able to grab one. I don't know. Or it'll... yeah. That'll be fine. There are wires in there. We can move them wherever we need to when we're in that stage. So, now we need to cover these little buggers. So it might be too long. There. Nope, come here. There we go. Rolling out Play-Doh. And then it might be too short, but that's okay because it can be covered in tape. Okay. Hopefully I didn't just tear that open. That's okay if it did. Hurt. Come on. I have to untwist you. No, it just doesn't. Okay, I see. I see. How you are. Do need to show that in there somehow. Here. Oh, itch. Eyeball. Why? Ugh. Might be a lot harder than I think it will be. Might be easier just to wrap them in tape. Because paper doesn't like to... Here we go. Bend. It'll crumple all you want it to, but bending it... That's exactly how I'd like you to be. Just like that. Or... There we go. Hey, there we go. Kind of. Oh dear. There's a piece of tape when you need one. Oh noes. Side. There we go. Jets overhead. Or planes. It's a really ominous music going on, my god. Oh, it's so epically ominous. Hurt? Oh, that's... Oh, I'm slightly disappointed in myself right now. I was gonna look up giant squid facts and just talk about giant squids. And I totally forgot. Probably because we had a late lunch. Totally forgot. So I didn't have that extra hour in between lunch and streaming that I normally do. Not that far. Oh dear. There we go. I do have some ocean books within arm's reach. That's actually what I was going to do. I was going to look up to see if the book had anything on giant squids in it, and if it did, I was just going to open it up and read from it. As soon as I get this tentacle on, that's what I'm gonna do. Grab that book, flip it open. Hopefully there won't be any scary pictures. I get squeamish. Come here. Come here, tape. You can do it. You can do better, tape. No, you can't. Okay. Doing as well as you can. I get that. That would be so neat. So, when I was in high school, I actually had decided to study to be a marine biologist, because even though I have the biggest fear of open water, dark water, I still wanted to study ocean critters, because like the blue whale was one of my absolute favorites. And that and my parents had bought me ocean books and zoo books growing up, and I was just enthralled with all the different little critters and huge critters in there. Oh, come here. But alas, that was not to be. I instead pursued art, but that doesn't mean I don't like the ocean, or don't want to keep studying the ocean, because I do. And I didn't realize that until like late last year, and I was like, well, why don't I make all my art like all ocean based, since I actually miss it. I miss studying it. Let's see. Giant squid, please. Giant leafworm, mussel, octopus, sea spider. Oh, there is no giant squid. Giant kelp, giant clam. Nope. Giant brain coral. Giant anemone. I wonder if it's under S instead for squid. Or just squid in general. I don't care what it is. Squidges in general. Now, I don't have a particular love or affinity for squids, because they scare the absolute bejesus out of me, because they are highly intelligent and highly aggressive and highly dangerous. I would say more than sharks. I'm more scared of squid than sharks. What the hell is SQ? Straits, sturgeon. Ooh, there's sturgeon in this? Submarine, Suez, sun to sun to sun to sun, surf, surf, surfing, star to sea. There's no squid in this. How is there no squid in this? Where's the Q supposed to be? QRST. Okay, that's why. Sponge. Here. Oh. Squid! Big fin, common firefly glass, Humboldt, and vampire. Let's look up 171. Oh geez, this book is huge. This would be my coffee table book if I had a coffee table. And, oh god, oh god. I get really squeamish. So I'll share the squeamishness. Some of you may be like, well, there's absolutely nothing wrong with a basking shark. Oh, oh, oh god, oh. I cannot. I cannot. Oof. Oh, where'd the cues go? Where did the cues go? QRS. There we go. Squid. So not 171. Let's go to 281. Oof. Goblin sharks also freak me out. Oof. 5. Oh. Hey, there's a dude. Not a great picture of one, but there's a dude. I don't have enough room on my table to actually set this up. Hurt will make room. We will make room. I've got enough flat surfaces around me. We'll make room. So. Like this. Oof. There we go. So squid are mollusk. There you go. Very difficult word to pronounce. They're the mollusk without a shell because their shell is actually on the inside. Hello, clam. Giant clam. Did I? I did not. Okay, good. What other pages were squid on? 291. The Humboldt squid is the scariest mofo you will ever meet. They are the ones to be scared about. Yeah. Squid are mollusks. But so are, what else? Jesus Christ. Slugs. There you go. Slugs. Ugh. And yeah, cephalopods are the squids. Mollusk cephalopods, because the hierarchy of it's not a naming system. It's kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. And the scientific name of everything is the genus and its species. So, yeah. Okay, another. I was hoping for a really nice picture. 291? I was hoping for a really nice picture for some reason. Oh my god, there it is! It's a cuttlefish. Not a squid, it's a cuttlefish. They are different. Oh, but man, look at the colors. Look at those colors. Sure. I'll prop that up somewhere. Oh. Oh, hey, there's, things. The common squid, glass squid, vampire squid. They just have little blurbs about them. Drink. There we go. Yeah, vampire squid are the deep, dark spookies. Spooky doos. Humboldt squids, I think, are in Californian waters. And they're super aggressive. They can kill people, and I think they have. Because they can grow fairly large. But, if there's a group of them, I would leave calmly. Or just stay out of the water if that's the area where they are in. I would pay attention to news reports, lifeguards, all that sort of stuff. You go swimming in California waters. Now, let's not say they're all over the Californian coast. That is not true. It could be, but... And some of my knowledge is very outdated because I haven't been keeping up to that sort of thing. So the documentary I watched of a dude who did almost bite the dust thanks to a Humboldt squid was from a few years ago. He was out in a kayak, or scuba diving, or snorkeling, something. He was swimming around in the water, and there were squids, and I think they attacked him, and he got himself back up to his boat before he died. And it might not have been a dude, it could have been a lady. Like, it could have been anyone. Does not matter. Squid be dangerous. Oh, I do know some things about the giant squid. That it's not the largest squid anymore in terms of volume. That belongs to the colossal squid that was not so recently discovered in the icy cold waters, I think in the South Pole, thereabouts. Fishermen brought up their nets and there was a giant squid in it, and they brought it in, and it's actually a different species of squid. And giant squid are usually really long. This colossal squid is actually pretty stocky, kind of squat, but it is actually larger by volume, I think, than a giant squid is. And I realized something last night, which is not news or anything, but giant squid, they're red. And I realized last night is that creatures in the deep ocean use red as camouflage because red light does not reach the abyssal depths. And so a lot of hunter critters have red bioluminescence so they can see those red critters in the pitch black, because they'll show up very, very easily in red light. And why this is important is because sperm whales eat squid. Squid having a red skin is a defense mechanism. It helps them be camouflaged, but it doesn't help when your predator doesn't need to see you. Because sperm whales have echolocation, just like most cetaceans do, most whales do. Or a good number of them, I should say. But the scary part is again, kind of an outdated documentary. I remember a dude saying he was an oceanographer, video person. Like, he's the dude that records the documentaries underwater, and they came across a baby sperm whale that was left on the surface while the parents went diving. And he got in front of it, and when it sent out its echolocation, he said it felt like it was like a horse had kicked him in the chest. And that's a baby sperm whale. A horse kick to the chest from a baby sperm whale's echolocation. And then there's the fact that there's a viable population of sperm whales. So that means, obviously, there has to be enough squid to feed them if that is their main food source. And so though we never or very rarely see giant squid, there has to be a very large population of them down below to support even just a small population of sperm whales. Just so in my mind, the abyssal depths are just crawling with giant squid, which may or may not be true. Oh, pump the back. There we go. Yeah, I just think squid are shy enough, and I do believe they would be scavengers too. That they have such a rough lifestyle, is that they are so wary. Like, we'll very rarely catch them on camera like we did that one time. And by that one time, I mean there was 3 different scientists who had 3 different methods that they were going to try and catch a squid on tape with bait. They didn't want to like actually catch it to bring it up and study it, but each person had a different method, and the first 2 methods failed, and then the third guy was like, why don't we just try all 3 of them together? And it worked. And they got some rough footage of a fairly small giant squid taking their bait. And I would have to say the squid would probably be very desperate for food if it was going to take that kind of bait. Since they probably live like a hugely dangerous scavenger lifestyle. But also, they might not live that dangerous scavenger lifestyle. They might live in giant groups, like some squid do. They gather together in huge, large numbers, and that would also make it easier for sperm whales to go hunting in certain areas and have hunting spots, as if there was more than one squid there. Unless they hunt one squid at a time for like 5 adult sperm whale and they share it, which I doubt. And I keep thinking like sperm whale have to eat something else other than giant squid. I just don't know what, because I'm not up to date on the research. Back in that loop, that particular community. That would be so cool. Squeeze that shut. And there's one tentacle. There's one, and 7 more to go. Yep, 7 more to go. Because I could not remember if giant squid had 8 or 10 arms. I think it was 10. Because they're club hands, these giant things. What's on the next page? Ugh, crab. Ugh. Oh, their faces. Oof. Just a little rough on the brain there. Goosebumps, please. Oh, lots of painful... Oh, goosebumps all over. Okay. Don't turn that page that way. Oh, cool, but I can turn it the other way. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. What is that? It's an egg ribbon? A sea rose. Spanish... Oh, slug. Sea slug? Yeah, gastropod. Cool. Sorry. This particular gastropod, or sea slug, the Spanish dancer, lays eggs in a ribbon, which you can barely see on the corner of my screen right here. Huh, they're pretty tiny too. But, oh my god, they contain over 1 million eggs. Jeez. Alright, don't get too distracted. Just pull out my scraps of paper here. It'd be really neat to make a glass squid. They are very tiny. They almost look like chibi squid with this huge bulbous head and tiny eyes and tiny little tentacles. Don't need it that thick. I'm into the tearing paper stage now. Don't know how long those are, so why not? I actually have a list of tape animals that I wanted to make, but I'm not entirely sure I want to keep making them because they don't have homes to go to other than my own. And I'm pretty sure no one's that interested in them because they are very rough. They are very rough around the edges. I mean, even Orange, my phone holder, is not too attractive, but I do like it. It's very useful, at least for me for my phone, but there's probably a lot more interesting and pretty things out there. there's nothing, yeah, that I think I'd want to make anymore out of these. Unless someone had a really good idea. Like I said, you can make more than just animals. You could make flowers, buildings, concept designs, really stupidly rough concept designs. Flappage, no! That's okay. I'd probably get into clay instead of paper and tape. Because while it is fun, and it probably takes the same amount of time as clay, they're just not refined. These critters are just not refined enough for me any longer, I should say. And I don't have any family members that have young ones that live close enough that I can make them as gifts either. And, well, all of them that I've made I want to keep, either because I like them too much, or I'm too embarrassed with how derpy they came out. Just, yeah. Okay, so this is way too long. That's okay. It's actually a good thing. It's actually a good thing. Come here. Yeah, squoze, squoze, squoze. There we go. Because then I can then do this and have the perfect length. There. I'm gonna lay you back there. And actually, this whole part could slide right off currently. Because I didn't actually tape it to the wires inside, and I hot glued. I used things other than paper and tape this time, mainly because I wanted this to be sturdy. As sturdy as possible, because it's not going to live in my house, although lime might be sacrificed. I haven't decided yet. It's not sacrificing lime by octopus, it's I'm scared that stuff will get stolen, but then again, who the hell would steal this? Especially if they're holding a business card, because you don't really get to see the rest of it unless you go, oh my god! Yeah. Place. It's okay, got about 9 more minutes before a break. Which one was I doing? We'll say this one. Okay. Just do short pieces. I left all of these wires straight and put tape around them and then bent them into shape. Instead of bending them first. Lessons learned if we do it again. Please, thank you. Situated a little better, a little tighter. Okay. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to finish this today. Today was going to be repurposing old jewelry or upcycling old jewelry from when I was like 5. Because I still have my favorite pieces of jewelry from when I was a kid. And they're a couple of necklaces. And they were on a string instead of a chain. Of course, the beads are plastic, because mom's not going to buy you expensive jewelry when you're a kid. You get that stuff in the will. So, they're still my favorite pieces. Which is really odd, because I had the thought today, why don't I just let go and get rid of all of that old stuff? Because I made myself a nostalgia corner when I rearranged my office, where I have the old toys that I wanted to keep saved, mainly because they're aquatic critters. I've got some My Little Pet Shop dealie bags over there. One is a killer whale, one is a dolphin, one is a set of penguins. And then I have some dinosaurs over there, because I was into dinosaurs too. But they were all living in a box until last weekend. And today I was wondering, am I keeping myself too far in the past with those? You know, or should I get rid of them and try to move on to new things? Except, moving on to new things does not equal buying more toys. And it's not really moving on to new things at that point. It's just letting it go. Not sure what the right call is on that. You stay on there. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be rough and tough. That's for sure. Get this on here. Yeah. Not that the toys actually matter. With what I want to move on to in terms of, like, projects and stuff, which seems really weird that I want to get rid of them now after hanging on to them for 20 plus years. But, like, I've been inspired by other people to actually try to pick something and become a professional at it. And, like, not to make money, but just to be known as a professional at it. Like, for realsies. And one of those people that's been so inspiring is, like, Banana Jamana on YouTube. She is an excellent painter and a wonderful person. And her paintings are gorgeous. She's actually making some paintings for a gallery show right now. And it's not that I thought, hey, I can do what she does. It's, hey, I could make my own stuff, hopefully to that quality. One day, I could totally do that. She has a very fun imagination. My paintings would be way more serious, but seeing someone paint with vibrant colors, and not a serious subject matter, or at least, like, on the surface, it doesn't look like a serious subject matter. It's a little more comforting to look at than, like, master studies of other stuff and be like, well, you have to go through this painting phase first, instead of, no, you can totally paint what you wanna. Because I realized when I had painted the field of poppies, even though it's really rough and not super great, I was kind of surprised that it turned out as well as it did. The blue flowers, not so much. But the field of poppies, yeah. Oh, this is a nightmare. It's not so much of a nightmare. Flip this over. Yeah, there we go. So at this point, it totally feels like I'm making the squid for myself. Kinda am. Kinda always am. That's the other thing I realized. I haven't made something for someone else in a long time. And I would like to. It doesn't even have to be a commission. But I would like to make something for someone else. That isn't Jim, because I spoiled him enough. No, I don't spoil him at all. Temper. This just totally unraveled on its own. Like it lost all its stickiness. But yeah. It's like I did do some critiques yesterday and whatnot, and I'll get to that when I come back from my break time. I'm gonna get up, stretch, all that good stuff, and I will meet you back here in about 3 minutes. I'm not feeling so hot. It'll pass. Do I even have... I do. He is in there. Okay. Damn, dude, I thought I would have the tentacles done, a lot faster, and that I would be painting by now, because this is my last hour. Oof, hour. That doesn't mean I won't stop working on it, though, because it needs to be done before I go to my hair appointment tomorrow. So, needless to say, this probably won't turn into a YouTube video. I'm honestly thinking of just not bothering editing my YouTube videos down into short little things anymore, because that just frustrates me. It frustrates me, because that makes me have a limited amount of time to record them, because my computer apparently can only handle like 2.5 hour long videos to open in whatever software I use to edit videos with. Any longer than that, and it just won't process it at all. It'll try, and then if I click anywhere on the program while it's trying to do that, it will crash. Or it will just crash on its own for no real reason, which makes me rage, because one of my triggers, I suppose, is technology that doesn't work. So when technology doesn't work and the way you believe it should, things get very frustrating very quickly. And so the speed videos might be reduced drastically, because I have a large enough library built up that I can post, or could post if I edited all of them, one video a day, 4 days a week for quite some time. But to keep editing that crap is a nightmare. And apparently I know none of the right people, or don't follow enough people on Twitter or anywhere else, because no one responded when I said, does anyone want to be my video editor? Because I can't take it anymore. Because I would totally actually pay someone to do that. To be my video editor. Because the way that I edit my videos, it would not be that costly. The longest part is just waiting for the damn video to process so you can edit it. And then the next longest part is saving the video, which should take about half as long as processing it, because it gets cut down from 3 hours to 6 to 10 minutes. And then you just tack on a couple static screens in the front and in the back, and some music. It honestly takes about 5 minutes for me to edit something if I didn't have to wait for it to process. Because it takes about 45 minutes to wait for a film video thing to process. And then like another 10 minutes or so between 10 and 20 to save. And so 5 minutes a time would be great. Even if it took a full hour to edit a video, even with processing and whatnot, I myself, well at least I charge my time as $10 an hour. It's a flat rate, no matter what I'm doing. $10 an hour. I can totally afford $10 for a video. That's really stupidly expensive, never mind. It did not take into account that it would have, I would need 4 videos a week. And that's $40 a week. Times 4, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. $160 a month, and that's only if there's 4 weeks in that month. Damn. Woo dang. Woo dang. And my subscriber numbers on YouTube have been floating between 99 and 100. Because people have been unsubscribing, and then someone subscribes, and then someone unsubscribes, so it's been floating. It's weird. It's really weird. Because I'm sure 99 of those people don't actually watch my videos anymore, because I think each one gets like 1. Not to complain or anything. I mean, I'm happy anyone finds them. For whatever reason. It's just weird to see the numbers go back and forth and back and forth. And I kind of wish on Twitch they would allow you to edit your follower list, or to at least look at certain information, which I don't know if that would be a breach of privacy or not with what I would want to do. Because what I want to do is, like, when was the last time this person watched me? And I don't even care, like, how long they watched me for. When was the last time? And if the last time was, like, 6 months ago, I'd rather just boot them off my follower list. Be a jerk like that, because who knows, life could have gotten their way. So screw them. No, that's awful. That's absolutely awful. I get these weird bad ideas, and then Jim comes back with just that thing. He's like, so you want to edit your follower list, and this person hasn't watched you for 6 months. What if they got in a really bad car accident and they can't use a computer anymore? Well, then I'd be a total asshole. Because that's how self-centered I be. It's all about this person, right now. Maybe that's why I'm craving to do something for someone else. To make myself feel better. No, I really miss sharing knowledge. Because I haven't done that too much. Like, I did those critiques. 2 critiques for 2 different people, and that was nice. Tape might be the way to go. Like, just tape. That was nice because I got to share. That also seems to be a quirk of mine. I really like telling people what to do. And shove advice in their face even if you don't want it. Something that needs to be practiced upon is not bringing everything back to me and my experience and whatnot. It's got to learn not to empathize, because I do have an overwhelmingly staggering sense of empathy. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Confessional time. Because no one watches anyways, but who cares? You go down there. Yep, just like that. Okay. Nope, not tall enough. It's okay. It'll come in handy one day. Jar of water. Just not today. I need to get tape over this particular piece right here. There we go. Wrap you. Wrap it around. Having one of those dilemmas again. Because, what was it? A week ago? A week ago I had a little tiny crisis of nothing I did had any worth. Why even bother streaming if there's no worth to it for me or anyone else? And so then I decided, well, self-promotion, so I can actually get people to come in and whatnot, or at least make them aware that that I'm openly inviting people to come and watch, and still nothing. But it's only been a week. And so I need to set myself a date and goals. Goals like, but I don't know how to actually get them, because how do you get new followers without pandering to shit in other people's channels? of which will get you booted immediately, because that's incredibly rude. I almost want to give up on this little bugger. Just because I'm like, self-promotion feels really awful. And for me, like, super self-centered. I don't know. I just can't make up my damn mind. Flip-floppity pancaking all over the place. It's like, do you want to be a successful streamer? Well, I really don't care to stream anymore because there's no one there to stream for or to or share knowledge with or gain knowledge from or experiences. Just all that good fun stuff. And since there's literally no benefit, but no detriment, then it's like, it's neutral, it's null, why? Why continue? So I might as well just speak out my thoughts now so I can make some decisions, because it's easier to talk thoughts out than to circle them in your brain a million times. I was really looking forward to streaming in October, but also dreading it because October is birthday month. My birthday is in October, and I had planned to do fan service to myself, basically. Because it's... yeah. And, that entire month would be dedicated to a certain subject. And, like, I'm looking forward to it because I still really like that subject, but I'm also not looking forward to it because I don't want people coming in and, like, super shitting all over it. Just, yeah. Just, like, Pride Month made me realize just how wary I was of people coming in and just being douchebags. Like, absolute douchebags. Because, yeah. Because my skin isn't very thick. It is for, like, constructive criticism. Totally. Totally is. Because constructive criticism, whatever, is useful. People typing fag in all caps lock is not useful. And it makes me very disappointed in that person and in humanity in general. It just makes me really sad. And that's, you know, the rough part. Because I've never had to actually deal with that sort of thing. In real, well, in real life. Not true. Not true. And it wasn't even about the gay thing, it was about being fat as a kid, and my neighbor was just relentless. Like, literally, I had a neighbor, he was living with his grandparents when we moved over here, and he deemed it worthy to call me a name that just... I was bullied to him because of it. Super, like, violent, really stupidly angry, but, like, not outside of school, because we did go to school together, but he wasn't in any of my classes. It was when we went on the playground, he would shout his mantra at me, and it's like, I wasn't even the fattest kid there, and I don't know if he was doing it because it's like, oh, you're kids, and that means he actually likes you, because then, you know, we weren't really that great of friends, anyways, even after that, even when we grew up. But, yeah, it's... I've not had to deal with that since, like, elementary. It was someone just absolutely trying to get under my skin with awful words. And the one time a guy did that, there was one instance, because I apparently grew boobs over one summer, and, hormones in kids are stupid as hell, and this one guy came up to me and said, hey, how's it boobing? And I slapped the shit out of him. Like, he turned to walk away, and I just left a handprint in the shape of, like, a Journey hand sticker on his back. I was so upset at that. And just, like, that was actually my reaction for most things that upset me, was violence. Because that seemed to be the only thing people would understand, is if you hurt them physically, they would leave you alone. And for the most part, except for my neighbor, it was true. But I only physically hurt 3 people. Yeah, 3 people. That one guy I left the handprint on, my neighbor, of which I'm surprised he doesn't have brain damage with how much I abused him as a kid. And then one other poor soul that made a comment that ended up getting a zipper from my coat in their face because it wrapped around a pole and smacked him. And I did get in trouble for these things. I did. It's mainly because I didn't know how to use my words eloquently enough. Because they don't train you as a kid too well to say, hey, that really hurt my feelings. Why did you say that? You know, did you say that to make yourself feel better? Do you think that, like, this particular thing you're better at and I'm not good at is worth mocking me over? I just, yeah, did not have words. I want to wrap this little tiny tentacle. And these days I have words, but not while live streaming, because it's on the fly, so those people just, they immediately get blocked, basically, these days, but it is still really rough to see someone type something super negative, because you wonder, or at least I do, why? Why would you even put the effort into that? Do you know how much energy it takes to be a negative person? Like, way more effort than to be a positive person. But that is also not true. It takes a crazy amount of energy to be a positive person, especially for other people. Because there's one streamer that Jim and I watch and we absolutely adore him. And he struggled a lot with being a positive person and just being healthy towards himself. I think he was around the same way I was, except with probably less violence, is just foul mouthed and all this other stuff, and I don't think he really liked being that person. And he did mention going to therapy to help give him tools to help be a more positive person, and now it's just an absolute joy. Like, it is really nice to watch him, because every other word is something nice towards everyone who's watching and whatnot. Always appreciative. And he has a wonderful chat community too, at least. At least as far as he mentions. Actually, no, I know he does, because he had like an iron fist grip on chat and had sub-only mode for like 2 years to weed out all the trolls and awful people. And after that, he finally opened chat back up, and the wonderful community could start taking care of itself. And it has. Jim and I don't really chat during his streams. We just like watching. Lurkers be lurkers and all. That gap is bothering me. So, still. It's almost like we're each having our own midlife crisis, and I thought I had figured mine out by, oh, I'm just gonna keep streaming, and I'm just gonna promote myself more so I can start being a more successful streamer. But what does that gain me? Nothing. Really. Not really. Because I don't even get to share anything anymore. So I need to set myself kind of like a due date that I will stream up until this date, and if I haven't gotten the amount of feedback or watchers that I would like to have gained in that time, then I'll just stop streaming and just do what I do, and pretty much that's it. But it needs to be a reasonable amount of time. It can't be a week. A week is definitely not long enough because a lot can happen in a week. And not a lot can happen in a week. So I was thinking of giving it until after October, and that's the part that I'm like, yay, and dreading at the same time, because, one, you don't want to be made fun of for something you like, and two, I really would love to share things that I like, because I never do share them because of the horrendous fear of being made fun of. Because, yeah, I'm just imagining horrible things, which I don't need to. I need to, well, it's because I hope for the best, which is, yay, I get to share things that I love, and then plan for the worst, which is trolls come in, totally mock it, and you get really disappointed in humanity again, and all of that stuff. Why didn't I wrap these in tape to begin with? It was way easier. What the foobar? So yeah, I will give streaming until October. I will promote myself as much as possible across all the medias and try to make colleagues at least, or acquaintances, and help spread their stuff as well. Because it's a two-way street. You just can't expect everything to fall into your lap. You gotta work. So I'll do that. And if things aren't working out by the end of October, which might turn into the end of December because I'll have given it 6 months, probably 5 months. I'll have given it a 5-month try. And people are probably going, no, you gotta stick to it longer than that. Well, see. The plan is to head for the end of October, and if things are actually picking up, then yeah, we'll keep continuing this. I may not always be doing the same thing, but if things just don't pick up and I still have like 0 viewers except for myself or Zaliser, I'll just go quietly into the night and watch other people stream while I work in the background, or work while people are streaming in the background. I'll just be a lurker. And just post things as usual on DVR, because it has changed, but yeah, it's better than Twitch currently is. Only DeviantArt had a live streaming service that wasn't catered towards like the top 1% of artists. Or actually, I have no idea how that works. That was bad of me. That was bad manners of me. They might just be testing the waters right now, and it's very easy to get bitter in the art world when people promote only the good people. Not the good people, the people who are like professionals. It gets really tiring for some others that are like, why don't you promote the little guys? Like, why? And it's like, well, because you don't make money selling your art, and you won't make us money selling your art. That's kind of the gist of it, right? Is you would have to make some sort of contract with them. Probably. Yeah, why didn't I just wrap all this foobar in tape to begin with? That's okay. That's what we can do from now on. Make things a little easier, especially on these tight coiled ones. So, I guess I'll keep streaming and talking to myself about what I'm doing as I'm doing it until things change. I just need the hard part is, like, getting into other people's streams. Because I don't want to do it just willy-nilly. I would actually like to like the person and what they're doing, instead of just making half-assed, not friends, but acquaintances that, that I basically would be taking advantage of. Don't want that. I want a mutual relationship. I guess I could do that by mentioning other artists, streamers. Oh dear. Oh god, get in there. Jesus. Except there's no one here to mention them to. And the ones that I do know of, they're already doing just fine. I don't want to be leeching off of folks. Jesus. Just like how I felt really guilty after the fact when I made some YouTuber portraits of the LGBT plus community, and their fans found out about it, and I suddenly got a huge spike in my Instagram following. I was like, that's not quite what I was going for. I just wanted to make some pretty things for some people that I like and think are a positive influence on whatever community they're making their videos for. Like Ash, it's for education and positive vibes in the LGBT community. For Miles J, it's really makeup and style. I love their sense of humor. And Steph, I first started watching Steph for makeup tutorials, and then just stayed with her throughout her current journey, because I actually like Steph as a person. Oh, and then Chase, oh my god. I do like Chase a lot. Uppercase Chase on YouTube does reviews, and I'm just like twisting this in circles. But yeah, I like the way that Uppercase Chase presents the products that he's reviewing. Basically, for trans people, they're like prosthetics for people that would like to have them. There we go. And basically becoming a resource for other people, or young transitioning people, or just young trans people, because he said he would have killed to have found videos like the ones he's making about different products out there, and even just simple things like underwear, I think. Get in there, get in there. But yeah, they're all a positive light in whatever communities they have built. And I do want to do something for Ash. I just don't know how to go about offering it without being weird. Because Ash Hardell, I honestly don't know if they would be okay with me speaking about them or not. But I'm gonna take a small chance and do it anyways. They're non-binary and very uncomfortable with their chest, because they were born female, you know, assigned female at birth. So they're not trans, they're just non-binary, which is, some are non-binary can mean a lot of things to, you know, a lot of different people. It is very wide array of things, but Ash was really uncomfortable with her chest and would like, or is considering, top surgery. And I was like, one day they were so uncomfortable about the topic that they tweeted about it, and I suggested some art therapy. So draw yourself, basically. And she does have some artistic ability, but not like super I can render a realistic figure ability. But I mentioned draw yourself with boobs, you know, as you are, and draw yourself without boobs. Then draw yourself with huge boobs and everything in between. And see if that helps make you feel better. I'm pretty sure that's not what happened, but I would love to basically render Ash the way they would like to be. And give them an image of what they would look like if they did have top surgery, with the scars and everything. Because Uppercase Chase has had top surgery and has the familiar scars from that top surgery. And there's another person on Instagram that I follow, Gav, who's also had top surgery because they transitioned over to maledom as well. And so I'm slightly familiar with the scar placement, and it would not take that much effort to research more into it either. But that would mean Ash would need to send me a picture of them with pasties on, and basically topless with pasties on in a neutral position, so I can then re-render Ash without boobs and with scarring. I've been thinking about doing that for like the last week, but I'm not sure how to go about asking Ash if that would be something that they're comfortable with. Yeah, because it's a weird, odd topic, because their wife, Grace, might need to get a double mastectomy because of a cancer risk in her family. So I could actually do a portrait for both of them. Doesn't even have to like include the face, but it probably should, so it could be like looking in a mirror, hopefully. As long as I have a photo, I can render people pretty damn well these days. That I do know. That I do know. Because I'm very tempted to show that off. Like, these days... Oh, I must have... Oh, that's the camera roll. No, I don't want the camera roll. Downloaded, there you go. Yeah. These days, I can do a fairly decent job, if it will focus. I don't know if it is focusing. No, don't go dead. I think it did focus. But yeah, that's Ash. Oh, it unfocused. How dare you. Anyways. Yeah. Sorry, YouTube chat. I just took you down. My phone's about to die anyways. As I just go off on tangents. Because I can show my latest art therapy too, since I'm now taking a break. Is that way better, or is it this way? Phone won't cooperate, so... Oh, dear God, it is dark. Or light, however. Focus, please. Focus. Focus. There's the camera. Oh, God. Yep, there it is. Kind of. You got it. Nah. That was today's art therapy for what little thing you could see of it anyways. I'm stalling because I don't want to wrap another one of these damn tentacles. I'll wrap the one in the back. We'll at least wrap the one in the back here. It's like doing a 3/4 body portrait of Ash the way they would like to be, the way they would envision themselves, without boobs, basically. It feels like it would be a good thing. But again, not sure how to go about offering that. Come on, don't be a jerk. Don't be a jerk. Tape. How did that first one work out so well? Who cares? We got it. Hurt. Hurt. Oh, there we go. There we go. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Okay. The hard part. This way. You can do it. That way. The struggle is real. There we go. The struggle will only continue. So we have such a long piece of tape. There we go. And also, I don't know how to message Ash privately. I'm almost thinking of going through Grace on Twitter, which is Ash's wife. But that would probably even be a little more weird. And the only reason I would try to go through Grace is because she may not have 1,000 people following her on Twitter, so she'll actually see the message. Because that's been the hard part, is like when I did Steph's portrait first, and I didn't realize that I wouldn't actually be able to contact her directly because she has a pretty large fan base. Because I've actually wanted to send these folks their portraits, like the actual file, full resolution, and I kinda haven't been able to because they've got fans. They've got enough fans that their contact information is business only? Business only? Yeah. And I've been too nervous too, because they've seen it already, and they've responded like, you know, with a favorite or a retweet or whatever already. And because I totally expected at least someone to say, hey, can I have, you know, can you send me the full resolution size? And that's not been the case. It's, oh, hey, that's cool, there's a piece of fan art of me. Neat. Thanks. And like, that is it. Ah, there, cold liquid. There. I should be able to get the rest of these wrapped. Which would make my life hella easier. For painting. Oh dear. For later today. Of which I will not be streaming. The painting of. Unfortunately. Fortunately, unfortunately. It's like, sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, just just realized why I try to bring the conversation back to me so much is because I don't actually get to tell other people about my day or anything like that. It's like you need kind of, when streaming, unless you're totally focused on what you're doing, or yeah, or something like that, it's how are you? How was your day? Oh, you have a vacation for 2 weeks. Man, that's awesome, man. That is awesome. But I always feel a jerk when Zalister comes by. Because I eventually stop talking to him and just talk about what I'm doing. And then he eventually leaves. And kind of fades into the night, which I can totally understand. Totally understand, because yeah. So I might be talking about what I'm doing a little too much. That's why I was trying to talk about not what I was doing today and about other things. To get practice into, like, I'm not teaching a class anymore. It's like, this isn't learning time or explaining what I'm doing time unless someone asks me what I'm doing. So I can be free, literally, to talk about anything else because I don't actually need to say I'm wrapping tape around wire right now in order to form a tentacle that I can later paint. It's not necessary. It's not necessary at all. Come here. I will say, no, wrong intro to that next statement is, Zalister is taking to a vacation, and today he mentioned that him and his girlfriend were going to go see Wonder Woman at the theater, because it's actually still in theaters. And I was like, wow, I haven't been to a movie for a long time, so... Society. How did that happen? How? Society and Friends have totally forgotten what those two feel like. Not necessarily a bad thing in some cases. I'm actually kind of happy we don't go out to movies and whatnot that often because we usually end up buying food. That's like our main thing that we'll absolutely not mind wasting money on. It's not that like we eat out a ton, it's just that sometimes we get really lazy and we're like, oh, we'll grab the veggie sushi from the store that's literally a 3-minute walk from our front door. That shit's expensive, surprisingly, even though it's just white rice, a piece of nori, some avocado, carrots, and cucumber. Pay all that extra funds for the packaging, the wasabi, the ginger, for the person who made the lovely shaped and packed roll to begin with. My god. It's like, I know I can make that shit at home. And it tastes just as good. But lazy. It's the one thing we're okay with being lazy on. Don't unravel, you There we go. Oh wow, Twitch has stopped working on my tablet. Amazing. That might be time to call it then. Nah, I'll stick around. I'll stick around so we can finally get these wrapped and finished. So all I have to do is paint. Oh, for God's sake. At least it was a tiny piece. I understand why it fell off. don't like that it fell off, but I understand why it fell off. Am I even watching the live one? I think so. There we go. Ah, Isabel. Thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Oh, not alone. Or at least I wasn't for a short while. Isabel, my largest supporter on DeviantArt for like a decade. Very positive person. Comments on nearly everything I post. And I can't thank them enough. Ugh. Sniffles. Sniffles. Where she finds the time. That's what I wonder. Because I know she doesn't just comment on my stuff. I've seen other random people's deviations on DeviantArt, and she's everywhere. Always commenting on everybody. Only positive. And it's like, how do you do? Just how do you even? We'll just relax and finish this up. Now, my usual plan would be to paint this on Thursday, since I craft on Tuesdays and paint on Thursdays, except this particular item needs to be done by tomorrow morning, so I need to make dinner in between then and now, except I have no idea what we will have, because I threw all of our food away because it was all rotten. Decisions. I probably need to go grocery shopping. Now I really have to rack my brain if we actually have food. Because we were gonna have pizza this week. I mean, I could make a caramelized onion pizza for dinner. That doesn't sound half bad. Except it probably won't be filling enough because, yeah. We would probably be able to eat both pizzas because I generally make enough dinner to have for lunch the next day, so I don't have to buy more stuff to make for lunch. So we buy, like, between 5 and 7 days worth of dinners, which means our lunches are already accounted for, and we just have oats in the morning, like oatmeal. And this week our oatmeal is cranberry oatmeal, and that's with a banana. That's with a banana. But, and the main reason why I'm saying a pizza is not going to be enough for either of us is that the pizzas they're not huge, but we're also vegan, so there's no meat and there's no cheese. on the pizza, so we have to eat quite a lot to actually get the calories that we need. Oh, we have mushrooms. But mushrooms aren't gonna be enough either. I guess all we really need is like a pepper. All we really need is a pepper. And that would make a fairly decent pizza. Is like 2 or 3 tiny, I mean like tiny onions worth of caramelized onion, 2 bell peppers, and 2 mushrooms, 3 mushrooms, and then a smoothie later, fruit smoothie later. That would be enough. That's generally how we go too, is like we get frozen fruit for smoothies too. So we actually get a fair amount of fruit. Which I didn't even realize until recently. Is that we get a fair amount of fruit. It was surprising. Because we have a banana with breakfast, a whole banana, and then like, it's only like 1/8 of a cup, but we get 1/8 of a cup of dried fruit, either blueberries or cranberries or raisins. And then, at least for me during the day, I'll have 1, if not 2 pieces of fruit for a snack separately, like a morning snack and an afternoon snack, like a pear, or a couple of cherries, like 5 or 6 cherries, which is odd that that's even enough for a snack, but it usually is. And then lunch and dinner is where we get like all of our vegetables from. So it ranges anywhere between like zucchini and corn, potatoes, onions, peppers, scallions. What else do we get? Oh, beans are usually somewhere in there. Beans or a pasta. Or somewhere in there. What am I doing? I have this last little leg to do, right? No. But yeah, you would not... Because we don't eat processed vegan food. We don't do vegan cheese. We don't do vegan mayo. Or even vegan meat. We've tried some vegan meat and like vegan breakfast sausage. And it does taste fairly good. Except it's kind of packed with oils. And the way that vegans substitute their meat is with vital wheat gluten, which to me is just a different form of flour for bread making, because while the vegan sausages did have like all the spices of a breakfast sausage that you know and love, there was that underlying flavor of bread. And it's not horrible, but it was just enough to be like, yeah, we'll probably not eat these again. 1 was a taste, and 2 is vegan products, processed products, are usually packed full of oil of some kind. And oil's a thing that clogs people's arteries. And that's something I need to avoid, so I've basically stopped cooking with oil. And will eventually stop cooking with oil altogether, because right now I just use Pam, the spray, and do the lightest of spritzes. 1, because we had the can before we went vegan. And 2, I'm just a little skittish on water frying still for some reason. Which is no excuse. But I would like to use the Pam up instead of just throwing the can away, because it's almost gone after months and months. It's like, before we went vegan, we also, like, not that you have to be vegan to not put oil in your diet. You could be an omnivore and not have oil in your diet. But that's like the number 1 cause of heart disease, is all the extra oils, all the things not found just in meat products, but just in lots of things. Yeah. Because my bad cholesterol levels were actually a little bit high the last time I got a blood test, and my doctor was like, I'd love to see you get these numbers down, and I'll let you look that up to see what that means. And I was like, gee, thanks? Because he was too nice to tell me to my face is, hey, you need to clean up your eating and lose some weight. Because that's exactly what I need to do. And I've cleaned up my eating and have lost a little bit of weight since I last saw him, because for some reason, even though we went vegan, it has been incredibly frickin' hard to lose weight. Like, it's infuriating. Super infuriating. And it's not because, like, I've been cheating on anything either, and even though, like, when we do get lazy and eat out, we go for that sushi that doesn't have oil in it. And we get the brown rice sushi too, which is a little bit better than white rice. But my god, it's like I need to run half a marathon and eat vegan to lose weight consistently, or just live off of bread and ginger ale like I did after surgery, and I lost like 5 pounds because of it, but that's not healthy. So trying to lose weight in a healthy way, for me, because I have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, apparently it makes it ridiculously hard to do. And I didn't think it would be that hard, because when I was younger, the good old days, I was in wrestling. I was very fit. It was not difficult for me to lose weight at all, but then again, I was exercising 7 hours a day while eating everything in sight, because that was the only way I could keep my body going. But that's not these days. These days, I sit on my ass and make art and go for a 2-mile walk in the morning 3 days a week, and lightly weightlift the other 2 days a week. And on the weekend, Jim and I just go, we do stuff. And I usually get around 10,000 steps because I have a Fitbit that I got for my birthday last year that my mom got me. And this has actually helped me lose like 10 pounds initially. Let me get on the weight journey. That's not needed. But my little break timer thing went up and it's 4 o'clock, so that means I don't have to go. But I probably should. Except I'm not totally done wrapping these little buggers. Which is what I would like to do. Okay, that was touching that. Oh yeah. Things and such and things. But like, even if I cut my calories on a vegan diet, I still like cannot lose weight. I've only managed to keep down a pound from the last time I weighed in, which is still great that I'm not gaining weight. Because like my heaviest I was at 252. I'm currently hovering around 224 to 224.6. I mean, I'm like 25 pounds less, or 25 plus pounds less than my heaviest, but that's, yeah, neither here nor there because it's taken so long to get to this. I already had torn tape. What am I doing? Oh well. That was one of the things that contributed to my depression yesterday, is like, I just can't win. No matter what I eat, no matter how much or how little I eat, nothing works. And it's like I need to dump my mom, basically. That was the conclusion, that was the angry conclusion that I came to, is like, I gotta dump my mom because she's slowing me down, because she walks with me. So I lied, I don't actually walk 2 miles a day, 3 days a week. Because when she walks with me, we only go like half a mile, and it takes the same amount of time. But that's because she is in her 60s and has had double hip replacement. So she's like 1,000,000 times better since then, because she's technically fully recovered, but still bringing her up to my speed might be the longest journey of my life, and I don't want to put myself on hold entirely, but I need to. But all the buts, I figured that when Mom comes to walk with me in the morning, because it gets really hot now, it's like the 105-degree time, it's like after we make it back to my house on our little half-mile loop, is like after she leaves, I will go walk again and make a couple more loops on my own. That is the only way. The only way I can see myself making progress and keeping progress. Because even though I'm a fit 224 whatever, I'm still a fat 224 whatever. And I would like to get back down. My ideal weight, surprisingly, is 175. And that's still, like, pretty beefy for a 5'4" chick, but I was really, and it may change. My goal right now is 175, but that may change, because in high school, I really liked being 175, because I was heavy enough that I felt like I couldn't get mugged and dragged away easily. And I really liked that weight. But for like my senior year of wrestling, I really got into the exercise, and I was enjoying it so much that I went down to 150. And I could actually do my own pull-ups, like several pull-ups. I could bench press my own body weight. It was amazing, but I was light. I felt too light. Like someone could easily nab me or easily mug me. I wasn't big enough to keep away bigger threats. Or I didn't weigh enough to keep away bigger threats. So when I went to college, I was totally fine with gaining like some of that weight back. And I kept it off, or I kept myself around the 160s until a health issue hit me. And the only reason I was able to keep myself in the 160s and eat horrible food, because I did that in college, was because I was walking to all my classes across a huge campus. But after I got out, I continued to eat horrible food and just slowly gained, or rapidly gained weight rather. And then a health issue hit me in 2009, which left me housebound literally for 2 years. I could not leave the house. It was an awful health experience. We didn't have the insurance to help get it fixed because it was a fixable thing, and we didn't have enough money to get it fixed either. So we just kind of had to deal with it and all the awfulness that came with it until Jim got a better paying job with much better health insurance. And then I got that health issue fixed, but it left me so traumatized, the process of getting it fixed, that I didn't mentally recover until 2015. So that was, I got it fixed in 2011, and I didn't get over it until 2015. And it still bothers me, but not to where I'll cry when I talk about it anymore, which is nice. So I've spent the last 2 years trying to piece myself back together health-wise. In February of this year, decided, why not go vegan? My doc already says I need to get my LDL levels down, which is the bad cholesterol, which is caused by eating things cooked in oil, basically, and fried and all that stuff. Not that we ate a ton of that anyways, but I did cook with olive oil quite regularly, but we weren't really big on our veggies or fruit. And Jim was already on board with, I would like to stop eating animal byproducts, but we already had some vegetarian recipes that could easily be turned into vegan recipes. I just went, why not? And he's totally on board with it. He's been totally fine. Now, he hasn't been losing weight either, but he hasn't been trying to exercise on top of his normal lifestyle, like I have. And I've been trying to exercise on top of my normal lifestyle, and it's maddening. It's absolutely maddening. It's like, what do I have to do? Eat potatoes only? I just need to put more effort into it, really. That's really the only way, is to put more effort into it, because before I had surgery this year, and I had just got my Fitbit, I decided to start walking. So I started walking a tiny bit, and then gradually build up from there, because I didn't want to injure myself or get sick, because if I push myself too hard I do get sick. And I got up to the point after a month to where I was walking like 5 miles a day, every day. 2.5 miles in the morning and 2.5 miles in the evening. That was around the 10,000 step mark, and I was losing weight no matter what I was eating, because we weren't vegan at the time. We were actually sharing our house with Jim's brother and his wife because they were buying the house from us because they wanted to move closer to their work. And to save both sides money, we decided to just share. And like, it did not matter what they cooked or what I cooked, I could lose. I was steadily losing weight. I lost like 10 pounds doing that, and we did not eat the healthiest foods all the time. Get in there. So I know it can be done. I just need to put more effort into it. And yet there's the excuse of it's summer, it's 100-degree weather. And it usually gets it to 80 by like 8:30. Sometimes it can get up to 90 by 8 in the morning or 8:30. Mom comes at 7. She takes half an hour to do a tiny loop. And it takes me another 40 minutes to go 2 miles. Because apparently I walk really slow. But I sweat like a pig no matter what. How balanced are you? Yay! Fairly balanced. Okay. I see just 2 little tips. I need a little more tape. And I can stop yammering. Stop yammering. And then go check out to see who else is live. And hang out in their place of business until I figure out what to do for dinner tonight. Ooh, waffles. Sorry. Waffles. We can make I think we have everything to make waffles. We should, because waffles don't take vegetables. Oh, and these vegan waffles are really tasty. Oh my god. So, growing up, I actually liked the taste of cornflakes because I really like corn. You know, it's on the sweeter side of vegetables, and I love sweet. And these waffles taste like cornflakes because they have cornmeal in them. Delicious. The only bad thing is they do have oil in the recipe. They do. So, I'm not sure if we can make it without, because there really is no substitute for oil unless it's avocado, and we don't have avocado? We do have avocado. I decided like anything that calls for oil is gonna get replaced with avocado. Other than like spraying Pam on a pan. You cannot rub avocado on a pan and expect it to be non-stick like oil. No. But like on the nacho cheese that we make from Hot for Food, instead of oil, I put in avocado and it's delicious. Because avocado is also like 1/3 of the calories of oil. 1/3, which is probably what our problem currently is we're not actually eating enough food. I know at 4th of July, the week of 4th of July, like last week, we definitely were not eating enough food. And I was getting awful headaches. Migraines. I was actually getting migraines, and it wasn't because of lack of water or my pillow. It was a lack of food, which is ridiculous. Dude. I don't know if I can wrap this little bugger with what I've got. Off you go. Off you go. Come here. There we go. Right there. Oh, I want to turn you in this way. And or just wrap you. There we go. Maybe. Oh, that left that bare. So yeah. I just foobarred all that effort, didn't I? Yep. Sure did. Well, that's what squishing is for. Or not. blah, 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 blah. Really wish you would stay on, or I would like you to. Did I stop recording? No, I didn't. Goddamn, so the last 3 hours. I run out of space on my computer again, of which actually happened not that long ago. Because once again, I would love to have a video editor person who can just pop on my Twitch, edit the video, and transfer it to YouTube. You know what? This is bollocks. Bollocks, 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 squish. Bollocks, get on there. Okay. Jesus. I have all this other junk to tamp down and whatnot. Oh, there's another little tiny point. You. Why? At least talk about the weather. While we do this, it is hot here in a desert-like place. Neighboring states get 80-degree mornings. I believe it was 80 degrees when I was watching that streamer. I guess it's totally fine to name names on the subject. Fairy Wings. Chainmail artist, wonderful chainmail artist. Here we go. Bruises her hands. She works so hard using her pliers. Damn. Sure. No. No, you don't want to do that. How about this? We'll have the pliers help out. There we go. Yep. Oh dear. Okay. So I kind of need to tape this down to everything else. Just so it will stay stationary, and to cover up the rest of the wire and the hot glue. There we go. Find a place. Nope. There we go. I almost wish Sideshow streamed in the afternoons rather than the mornings, because I could not raid because there's no one here, but at least hop onto his stream, because he starts streaming at like 4 o'clock in the morning for me, which is like 6 for him. Early bugger. And he, oh my god, he's been churning out so much art, and it's just been amazing to watch his Instagram explode, basically, because I think he's making stuff for TwitchCon, and doing all of this art. He doesn't even stream all of it. Doing all of this art, though, has given him so much experience, and he's improved so much on so many things. Like, the learning curve, or the progress curve, is real. It's real and inspiring. There we go. Come up here. Come up there. There we go. And then I was gonna say that the funny thing is all three of us, Sideshow, Fairwings, and myself, we do share an anxiety. Sideshow, I think, takes meds from time to time. I think he takes them only when he knows he's gonna be really social, which is TwitchCon. But even then, that's something we all have in common, and I find that might be a very common trait among artists in general. Actually, after watching SGDQ's Summer Games Done Quick, it was very apparent that most of the gamers actually share that same anxiety as well. Because they're speedrunners, that they talk to their communities, tight-knit closeness, and then they get to stream 24/7 for a week. And some guys, you can just totally feel for them. It might be a good practice to have the speedrunner and then other speedrunners from the community behind them to do the talking, the ones that are more comfortable with it, which is what some of them actually do. It's definitely what they do during races, is they let the people focus on their race, and they have commentators behind them about what they're doing. And oh my god, the Metroid run, the Metroid race this year was crazy because only one runner survived out of 4, I think. Three of them died, and if you die in, I think, it's not Super Metroid, what is it? It might be Super Metroid, yeah. If you die when you're speedrunning in Super Metroid, there is no restart because there is no catching up. So they're kind of toast. So they just get to sit there and root the guy on, and every year there's always a donation incentive for save the animals and kill the animals. That's in the game. Because in the game, you can make a detour in the very last sequence of the game to go save some animals that you discover whilst roaming around, or you can leave them behind. And Kill the Animals won this year, and I think the hope is to get a world record out of one of these speed runs. Because it is a possible thing. And everyone just hopes to get a world record or a chance to see a world record run of Super Metroid. Put this here. And wrap it. Up there. There we go. Now it won't come apart. No way. We just need to worry about these tentacles kind of unraveling before we paint. And the colors, I actually picked out the colors. Oh. This is an old watercolor palette that I made a long time ago, but these are the colors that I would like to paint this particular squid, starting dark purple, fading into red, fading into an orange, light orange peach color. Yeah. But I'm not exactly sure what way I want the gradient to go. If I want it light on top, dark on bottom, or light on bottom, dark on top. I mean, squid are already pretty phallic looking, so I guess not dark on top. I don't know. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it. I've been sitting in this chair long enough, yammering on long enough about nothing, so tomorrow is gonna be digital colors. I'm gonna be coloring someone else's lines, because that's what I do most of the time. That's what I specialize in, is coloring. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and anyone lurking out there. I greatly appreciate it. If you're new and you'd like to know when I go live, you can follow me on Twitch and on Twitter at JasmoColors, and I will catch you guys all next time.